Hello, hello. Welcome to Notary Life with Kimmy. Hey, YouTube. Hey, Facebook. Those on the replay. Those, those on the replay. Those who will listen to the podcast. Hello. I was just telling Facebook. You can see the color is so much vibrant over there, and the pink lips are pinking. Okay, they are pinking. You know I love me some pinks. You can see the mouse, the watch, the lips. I'm pinking today for real. So let's give YouTube a few seconds to notify some people that we are here. Got an interesting topic today. Going live a little earlier because I just got a few things going on. I got later appointments, so I got to do it when I can do it. So, hey, whoever is on Facebook, welcome, welcome. We are giving YouTube a few minutes to notify a couple people that we are live and on. And then we will get right into it. Hey, YouTube, welcome. So we are talking about what would you do? I had started a little series, but I actually only did one series, one part of it. So today is going to be another one. I'm going to come with these more frequently too. I might just do them in person. Memphis, Tennessee is in the house. Hey, Yakita. How are you? Yes, I got Tennessee roots. My mom's from Tennessee. Hey, welcome everybody. YouTube is notifying. People are in the room. People are here. So we're talking about, can you notarize a document for a minor? Can a minor child sign a document? Let's let a couple more people come in, and then we're going to get right into the conversation. We're going to talk about it. And again, what would you do? If you've ever seen that program that comes on, let's see, I think it's ABC with John Kinono, something like that. He goes to these little different scenarios, and he's asking the people, what would you do if you see something racial happening, if you see a mother arguing with her daughter and everybody arguing, what would you do? What would you do? Hey, Melvin 88. So what would you do? So let's start off by saying, would you notarize for a minor? That's the question. Would you notarize for a minor? 1 for yes, 2 for no. When I say minor, under 18, they could be as young as 5, 6 years old. Would you notarize for a 5-year-old? For a 6-year-old? Let's see. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Would you notarize for a minor? 1 for yes. Yakita's saying, yep, she'll do it. 2 for no. We're not notarizing for minors. Minors cannot make decisions. What is the answer? All right, let's get into it. So the question is, can you notarize for a minor? It's going to be very state specific, okay? But we're going to give you some things to think about. I'm going to give you some things to think about. First, I want to tell you a scenario that happened to me, and then we'll get into the legalities of it, okay? So the situation was a father and his new wife came to me, and I've told this story before, but today we're going to actually dig a little deeper because I've always kind of just skimmed through it, but today we're going to dig deeper. I had a father and his wife, his new wife, come to me, and they wanted me to notarize a document for, hey, Helen, they wanted me to notarize a document for a 10-year-old boy saying that he did not want to live with his biological mother. He wanted to live with the father and his new wife. Well, when it came to me, I wasn't feeling that. I was not feeling that. Would you do that? If a father and his new wife came to you and say, hey, my son wants to live with me, I need this document notarized so we can present it to the attorney that the child has made his choice. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Would you notarize that document for the child, the father, and the stepmother? And the biological mother is in the picture. The parents were coming in from out of state, the father and his new wife. The mother is here, but she wasn't invited to the signing. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Would you do that transaction? Would you do that notarization? Would you do that notarization? Okay, so that was my dilemma. And for me, it was a no. I just did not feel comfortable doing it. Did I have any legal reason why I couldn't do it? No, I did not, because children can sign, and we'll talk about that shortly. But for me, I just felt like as a woman, I would not want someone to just be able to say bring my child somewhere, they sign a document terminating my rights. And maybe the child did not want to live with the mom. Maybe the child did not need to live with the mom. All of that's not my business, really, right? But again, I just didn't feel comfortable. So dad was coming from out of state, new wife. They want the kid to live with them. Just wasn't feeling any of that. I just wasn't. So what did I do? I talked to Angela, first of all. Yakita says, I had to notarize a passport doc for a minor with legal advice, legal guidance. And then Yakita also says that should have been done with a court advocate, in my opinion. You know, I agree. I agree, because anybody could have just said, you know, the kid appeared before me, everything is okay. And now this child has been taken from their mother. And again, I don't know. Maybe he didn't need to. Okay. But for me, I wasn't going to do it. I had no interest in that notarization. So they were kind of pushy. I mean, I talked to them for hours going back and forth. So I actually asked the mother, the stepmom was the one making all the arrangements initially, because I guess dad was working. So I finally asked her, I said, well, is there any way? And again, I probably was doing the most. Okay. But this is how I roll and how I do my business. I asked her, I said, is there any way that mom can come to the signing? Because I just wanted mom to know. If mom had came and she said, yeah, I'm fine with my son living with his dad and the wife, I would have been okay with that. I just would have been okay with that. But that was not the case. So what did I do? I talked to Angela. Angela asked me, Angela's the other trainer here at Notary Educators. She said, Kim, are you going to be thinking about this for the next 6 months? And I said, yep. I said, I sure am. She was like, I don't recommend it. Don't do it. And she's right. I would have been thinking about it for the next 6 months. I'm like, oh, that child signed that paper and they took him from his mama, poor thing. You know what I mean? So, hey, Facebook, welcome. So, yeah, for me, it was a no-go. Let's see. Yakita says, sometimes you have to do the most. Folks are scandalous. And see, again, I don't know if it was good, bad, or ugly. I really don't. Hey, Frank, what's going on? Frank says, nope, he would not have did it either. Call the Secretary of State to get a judgment. Yeah, so let's talk about it. So I didn't do it. What I did do was I called the person that I called my mentor. He actually did some notarizations for my mom and dad when they were in the hospital, and we needed some different documents notarized. And I called him. I said, hey, would you do it? He was like, yeah, I'll do it. So he did it. He charged him a premium because it was an extenuating circumstance. And that's the other thing, as even when I'm teaching, I taught someone earlier today. If there is a notarization that you don't feel comfortable with, don't get all worried and in a tizzy, because there is a notary out there that will do it. Okay. If it's just something that you don't feel comfortable with, maybe it is even a law attached to it that you don't feel comfortable doing. There's somebody out there who's going to do it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. So I wouldn't do it. So let's talk about some things you need to consider. And before I go any further, based on everything I told you, would you notarize it? Would you do it? What would you do? Seems like the consensus was no, but now I've told you the whole story. Like I said, I don't know if the child should have been living there or not. But for me, it was a no-go. And I did. Do you think the other notary was wrong in notarizing it? How about that? Were they wrong? Hey, LaShonda, how are you? Were they wrong for notarizing the document without mom being present, the biological mother who carried the child for 9 months in her stomach? Okay. If not longer, you know? So let's get into some things you need to think about when notarizing for minors. Okay, some teachable lessons here. So each case is going to be different. You definitely want to try to talk to the child and see if they know what they're signing to. That's another thing. You need to kind of test the child for competency to make sure that they do know what they are signing. So what does that sound like? You know, you might even ask the child, hey, just flat out, you know, what is this document pertaining to? What is it? What is this document about? Yakita says, no, I wouldn't notarize it. And yes, the other notary was wrong. You know, again, that one's just a tricky one, you know, and everybody gets to run their business the way they want to. But I don't take any unnecessary risk with my notary stamps, because that is how we eat around here. Okay. So it says, does the minor know what they're signing is something you have to look at. Hold on. Let me pull the screen down so I can get the comments. Yeah. Does the minor know what they're signing? Okay. To the best of your ability. Does a child have ID? Now, most children do not have a driver's license. So Yakita is asking, are we allowed to ask questions here, not on the subject? Yeah, sure you can. Yep, you can ask questions. I'm just going to finish the topic first, though. Yep, you sure can. So the question is, if the child, about the ID of the child, because most children do not have a driver's license, right? I don't know any that do. So how do you identify them? Normally, in my case, in the state by state, that's why I always push back for you to check your handbook. For my state, I would normally use like a school ID. Okay. Most kids have a school ID that they have to have nowadays. And for me, just something extra that I do, I want the parent or guardian to be here, guardian to be here. I write their ID in my journal also, that they know that this child signed this document. Okay. That's just best practice to me. Again, that may not be the state rule, but that's just something that Kimmy wants done for me to put my stamp on it. Okay, so I want the parent to be there or the guardian to recognize what's going on. Also, you may even want to ask the child, do you want to sign this document? In that case, with the one I had, if I had felt comfortable with it, my process would have been write the child's school ID, write the parent, whichever parent was going to be responsible, write their ID, ask the child these pertinent questions that I'm saying, and then record all of that in my journal. I would record in my journal, spoke with child, spoke with parents, child was aware of what he was signing, anything that can jog my memory later. Because believe me, this kind of stuff does come back. And the only thing you're gonna have is your journal. Okay. So you definitely want to check your state handbook. That's the first things I teach you is get that state handbook. You need to know what it says. Okay. Some minors do have passports. A lot of minors have passports, so that could be another way to identify them. Okay. I want to go over a couple things that we have going on here at Notary Educators, and then we can get a few of your questions. Okay. So we are running a special right now on the private Notarize Like a Pro A to Z sessions. They're $149 right now. They are on summer special because we know, everybody's traveling for the summer. And, you're spending money on other stuff. So if you want to go ahead and get your training for your notary, though, to make sure you know how to properly notarize documents. What is an acknowledgement? What is a jurat? How do you administer an oath? How do you change the venue? How do you price your services? How do you market your services? All of that. We do have sessions going on to Friday night. My days are running together. Friday night. And then also next Friday, I'm having a class too. Okay. So Angela's having one this Friday, and I'm doing one next Friday night. So look at the calendar at notaryeducatorsllc.com. It would be our pleasure to assist you. Also, the online courses, if you prefer self-paced at your leisure. The new Trust and Estate Package course is amazing. The reviews are out there. Also, Notarize Like a Pro. If you, like I said, need to know how to notarize, but you want to do it at your own pace. They're all on sale, 60% off. Coupon code is WIN, WIN 2024, WIN 2024. What questions do you all have for me? So let's wrap it up in a bow about signing for a minor. First, you want to check with your state to see what your state handbook says. Secondly, make sure everything makes sense. I always say that, make it make sense, right? Read the room. Do you feel like the child is being pressured? Ask the child, are you being pressured? Do you want to sign this? Have another parent or a guardian there with you. Get their ID. Write it all in your journal. Okay, that's going to be our steps. What questions do we have? Yakita, sounded like you had a question you wanted to ask. So we are open now for general questions, and I'll be able to hang out a few minutes. And I went live earlier than I like to. I usually like to go live around at 8 o'clock hour at night so we can get the West Coast people too. But hopefully if you're at work, you can just kind of type your message or something. Let's see. I'm just playing with these bands from my computer. All right. Do we have any questions, people? Let me know. Let me know. Frank, what's going on? So if you can just hit the like button for me. Always. Yes. LaShonda is saying always cover yourself. Always cover yourself. For real. You have to. You have to always cover yourself. What questions do we have? Going once, going twice. Because I just wanted to hop on and share this thought with you today of what would you do. We have a few questions. I know people just jumped on the live. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask. So Yakita says, I have a gentleman. I've notarized documents before with no issues. And recently he came to me in his female form and female ID, and I didn't feel comfortable doing that knowing he has a male ID. Oh, look at Frank saying best month ever. Get it, Frank. Congratulations. And he got 1, 2, 3, 4, $5 signs behind it. Great job, Frank. Yeah, summer traveling is happening. I'm getting a lot of travel consents. A lot of travel consents because people are the kids are traveling without their parents. Okay, so let's get back to Yakita's question. So we are not the gender police. We are not. If that was a valid ID from the state, let's just say the state of California, if that was a valid ID, so before he came to you, and that's actually a good question, and we go over this in class actually. We are not the ID police. We are not the gender police. So for example, your client first came to you and they were Wana. They were Wana Jones, right? So Wana Jones says on the next visit, no, I go by Juan now. They have a new ID that says Juan and their document says Juan. Yes, I'm going to maybe write in my journal some notes. I remember last time this client was here, they identified as Wana. But we are not the gender police. Hey, Ladero, we are not the gender police. We are not, and everyone else that's there, the only person name I can see is Ladero right now. Let me see. Yeah, we are not the gender police. We are not the ID police. So yes, I would have notarized that for him. Yep. And actually, I'll go one further with you. So Alexis had one a couple of months back. This person did. They came in as Marie. And then when he was standing in front of her, though, he said, my name is Mark. My name is Mark. So the ID and the document was in Marie. He looked like Marie on the driver's license. So in her notes, she just wrote, and this might be a whole topic, actually, how to handle that. Let me write that down. We'll come back and do that another day. Gender identity. Yeah, because there's a lot of that going on. Men are identifying as women, women identifying as men. And again, we are not the police over that, no more than with the oath. Some people don't do oaths for religious reasons. Some people don't do oaths for whatever personal reasons, right? That being the case, then we would not administer the whole oath, so help you God with them. You would alter it a little bit and that would become an affirmation, okay? And we go over all of that in training too. So that's a great question, though. That's a great question. I hope that answered answered it. That I answered it. And again, you could always push back to your state and make sure he has the man ID that he's presenting, or the female, vice versa, whatever. Just make sure it is a legitimate ID from the state. I'm not taking a homemade ID. Now he went home and changed his ID and said, I think I'm gonna call myself Juana starting tomorrow. And he creates his own ID and bring it to you. That's not acceptable. It has to be a state ID. It has to be a state ID. All right. What else do we have going on in these notary streets? Any other questions? Any other questions? We have a few more minutes. Anything else? So what else going on in Notary Educators is the mentor program is our other big thing. Tomorrow we are talking about, you're so welcome, Yakita. Tomorrow we are talking, and I keep saying tomorrow. Yeah, it is tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Yes. Because we got so much going on. So yeah, Thursday is mentor meeting tomorrow. It changes weekly. Tomorrow is Thursday, our notary mentor meeting. And that's a monthly program. And we meet once a week. You have access to all of us every day, 7 days a week. And tomorrow is wedding officiant. How to add that to your notary business. What is it and what states require for you? Some states allow you to be a wedding officiant just with your notary commission. Others, you have to go an extra step. So tomorrow, Angela's going to be teaching that and going over wedding officiant. Okay. And if you join the mentor program for some reason and you want to go back, you can watch all the replays. So we've talked about ChatGPT, Google My Business. We talked about a little bit of everything. So we try to have a theme to start off each week. And then from there, we go based on the needs of the people in the class. Excuse me. Or we also make sure we are checking in with everyone to see what results we're accomplishing, what's going on. Not just a fun time meet. We're actually trying to get some things accomplished, help people build out their business. Okay. So, any other questions we have? How y'all doing with this heat out there, huh? How are you doing? I know I had one the other day. Woo! I was standing there. We did it at the signing, and I was so hot. My neck was burning, just drenched. I was like, what is going on? I said, and I don't usually sweat, but I was out there just sweating. I mean, it was over 90, probably felt more like 105, 110. So it was kind of intense. So yeah, what other questions? Do we have anything else? Because I don't want to just hold you guys up. And I definitely have a couple more things that I can go and handle before the end of business today. Anything else? I got a few more seconds. Because as soon as I hang up, somebody will say, hey, wait, I got a question. Wait, I got a question. What else? Anything else? All right. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to head out of here. If you are just joining us, go back and watch the replay. Today, we talked about, should you notarize for a minor? Can children sign documents? What are your thoughts? Okay. So hopefully you find this information beneficial. These little check-ins and these little teachable moments, we'll call them. Little training here. And on behalf of notary educators and Notary Life with Kimmy, I'm going to say have a great evening. Okay. I'll try to go later next time. But again, I just had a lot going on today. So I have appointments this evening. So my last one is at 8:15 today. So I had to get on when I can get in. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.